Hello and happy Friday. I would like to introduce you to my Frank Friday collaborator, Ellie Hayworth of Hayworth Communications Consultancy. Ellie is committed to promoting intrepid ideas in both art and design, and she has grown her business to command a full scope of client services that include public relations, strategy, events, speaking engagements, you name it, Ellie can help. And today we are chatting with Lyndsy Welgos, who is a New York-based artist. Lyndsy is best known for her portraits of female identifying artists, which have been published in Vanity Fair, Vogue, The New Yorker, and Pinup, among many other publications. Lyndsy is also the founder of Topical Cream, a nonprofit organization dedicated to women and gender non-conforming individuals in contemporary art. Ellie, I'll let you take it from here.
Amazing. Thank you, Karlina and Lyndsy. It's really exciting to have you on today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, we're really excited to just kind of dive right in. Just to reiterate, as Karlina just mentioned, you are the founder and director of Topical Cream, which is really an outstanding arts organization that supports the work both of women and gender non-conforming individuals in contemporary art. Yeah. And I'm just curious to hear a little bit about your professional trajectory and what brought you to kind of founding Topical Cream.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have maybe I don't even know that I have a professional trajectory. Let's put that out there first and foremost.
Sure.
But yeah, I founded Topical Cream out of general frustration with arts media and their portrayal of my friends who were gender nonconforming and female identifying artists I knew. In 2013, the landscape was really, really different. And, I had a lot of questions of why would I even do something like that? Why is there a need for that? But people don't ask that anymore. So I think that, the landscape has come a long way since 2013. And I hope that we've been a positive part of that.
That's amazing. Well, I certainly follow Topical Cream, and I think you guys are doing a great job. So it's wonderful to kind of hear a bit of that genesis story. You guys also pioneer or have championed an editors in residence program, which I think is interesting and stark contrast to something, we always hear about artist residencies. Yeah. So can you just tell us a little bit about that program, and are your editors always kind of squarely from the editorial world, or is there an expanded definition of what an editor is?
I think they're from the world of criticism, art criticism, philosophy, poetry. Maybe less of straightforward journalism. So most of we only have had one so far. This is the program that we launched this year, and Nora Khan is our first editor in residence. So I guess just going off Nora, she's a cultural critic. So I think this is more of what we're interested in developing. Are these kind of careers and features about larger questions. Obviously journalism tackles a lot of big questions, but we're more interested in how to push theory, how to push cultural criticism, and I think that Nora is the perfect editor in residence to kick this program off.
I love that.
Because of her experience.
Yeah. And, I think you mentioned that this was, I guess last year was kind of the first year that you're pioneering the editor in residence program. Yeah. You guys have always been digital native, and, I think digital in all aspects of the definition has been experiencing a renaissance. I mean, did you guys feel you were uniquely positioned and already had a captive audience?
Yeah, I think in the last year we were uniquely positioned on many different fronts. So I would say as far as workflow is concerned, it was a pretty easy transition in general. And, you know, the first thing that we did, I think we started in April, was we did our first digital fundraiser, online fundraiser for folks who are working in nightlife, because we do a lot of public programming and some nightlife events ourselves. We think that's a really important part of the holistic view of the art world, and it always has been. We knew that there were other organizations that were giving money to artists, but those who are working in nightlife were a little bit left out. So that was the route that we took to support those folks. That was all done. It was all done online with, put together in about a month. And I think we raised over $7,500. So
that's incredible. Yeah. And I think it's a testament to the fact, I mean, you saw a lot of these arts organizations, you know, I don't want to say scrambling, but somewhat scrambling to try to, you know, move or shift programming online, or, you know, Gala infrastructure that was predominantly, you know, experiential. They had, you know, some challenges. So it's nice to hear that you guys were kind of a front runner on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think because, you know, as you said, we're digital natives anyway. So, you know, we're not a gallery. So it's not an issue of like having work that we had lined up to show that we weren't able to show. I think the way that it impacted us probably, you know, the most was maybe some elements of fundraising became a little bit more difficult. But,
sure.
But I think that was for everyone, you know, all nonprofits, no matter how nimble you are. You know, last year it was a little bit wild, not knowing exactly what the year ahead was going to look like.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that statement.
Yeah.
And so, you know, running parallel to your work with Topical Cream, you are an artist in your own right, and you have a very robust art practice. So maybe you can just unpack a bit about, you know, what area of interest you pursue, and just tell us a bit more about your art.
Yeah, I mean, I would say with the photographs that I've been shooting, you know, for the last 7 years have run very parallel to Topical Cream's mission. I'm known mostly for my work with women and gender non-conforming artists. And I think, especially, you know, those who are in, you know, in their studios in the middle of their practice. So I think that the two work together really well. They work together really well, and they complement each other. And it's just an extension, you know, my art practice is an extension of Topical Cream. Topical Cream is an extension of that desire to kind of, you know, raise up women and gender non-conforming artists. And yeah, I think they run pretty parallel, and people seem to like them. So that's good, you know.
I would agree with that statement, Lyndsy. They're certainly well received.
People like them all right. So that's always good.
That's great.
I like to make people happy in general. So
yeah, no, and the portraits certainly do that. So I think the photographs are really quite special.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know, beyond kind of your, I guess, this balance that you have between, you know, running an arts organization as well as your art practice. You know, I think in the original
balance is a generous word.
Okay. So then maybe can you talk to us just a little bit about how you balance the two?
You don't balance them. I mean, you really don't. I mean, I would say triage would be, you know, a better word, because sometimes there's, you know, I mean, obviously Topical Cream is always going to come first, but it's a triage would be the way that I would describe it. It's not easy. It's not easy, and ultimately, you know, one can suffer and then the other suffers. So, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know if there's a balance, but somehow they both seem to be going. So I don't know.
Well, and Lyndsy, you're also, you know, you're an entrepreneurial mother as well, correct?
Yeah.
So you have a third career in the mix.
Yeah. That is true. I mean, I just want to say, like, it's I don't recommend any of this for anybody. I want to be super open. It's not recommended by any means, in any of it. Don't do any of it. None of it's recommended. Yeah.
I like it.
I mean, that's just the truth. I want to be real. I don't want to be like, acting like there's something, more interesting going on. It's just everything suffers to a degree, and you just keep going.
Sure.
Period.
Sure. No, can I tell you, I think that's a perfect segue to the next question.
Okay.
I think we've spoken with a lot of different arts professionals who, obviously it's a very kind of personal experience with the arts, but we've certainly heard a relative cynicism about certain aspects of the art market, outright criticism of other aspects of it. And, others embrace it as a vocation and something that, that we really need to pursue as kind of part of our passion, an extension of our philosophy. I think there's kind of a Venn diagram of all of those things is why we all still sit squarely in the art world. Mm-hmm. What is it about the art world and maybe all of these roles that you play that you continue to drive towards? And then what kind of gives you pause?
All of it gives me pause. I mean, I guess,
okay.
The United States is a really fucked up place to be in the art world in general. Sure. There's not enough funding. Even in a small organization like ours, we have to compete against MoMA and the Whitney for granting and funds. And it's just it's a very capitalistic, it's a very fucked up place. I mean, without naming all the different, ways of why it is, I think, hopefully people by this point have a pretty good sense, especially after this last year of, how fucked up it is. I would say what keeps me going forward is doing good work through Topical Cream. We have some new initiatives that I can't talk about exactly just yet.
Sure.
That are that I'm very proud of. That's we're collaborating with Recess on some stuff coming up. We're basically creating a new program for system impacted youth, where at the end of the program, they're able to publish an article on Topical Cream, next to somebody like Nora Khan, next to somebody, like Juliana, next to some. So I think being able to use a platform that has some intellectual respect, some critical acclaim, and being able to, take advantage of that and put it to good use is the only thing I get up for. It's the only thing I get up for, because I do think, kind of as I said before, the landscape is very different now. The way that we talk about female identifying artists has shifted a lot. So with that, we want to focus our mission to where it's needed. So I think, me and myself and our board, the Topical Cream board, are very aware of that. And we hope to keep putting our energy to where it is needed. And I just did an interview with an artist last week, and she was telling me, hope is a discipline. And I think that is true. It is. Yeah. I can't remember where she pulled that quote from, so I'll have to go back and figure out exactly where that quote is from. But yeah, I think, the more good works we're able to do, the more I feel hopeful, because, Topical Cream is not a place that is here to just, push up secondary markets, and we don't have advertising. We're artist supported. So,
right. Yeah. It's speaking directly to the audience and the community that you are also supporting. And, it's this kind of wonderful cyclical, I think, support system. It's an ecosystem, which I think is exciting.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it is an ecosystem. I hope it is. Yeah, I think that's a good word for it.
Yeah. Lyndsy, just as we kind of conclude our interview, we always love to end with some kind of professional best practice. And I think it's a perfect kind of continuation of what we just said. I mean, if you were to offer, you know, a word of advice or, you know, a set of best practices for aspiring professionals in the arts, what would that word of advice be?
You know, I think understand that, you know, maybe not everybody has your same experience, and, you know, treat people with respect as much as you're humanly possible, as much as humanly possible. That's it.
Yeah.
It's always best practice.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. And then in terms of, you know, we've had a very challenging year, both personally and, you know, as an arts community and really as a global community. So, you know, I imagine that there are some positive externalities that have come out of what has been a rather fraught year. What is one positive takeaway that you want to hold close to the vest as we move forward?
Other arts organizations are starting to look a lot more like Topical Cream, which is positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're sort of, I mean, I would say I'm really glad that things have moved, not as much as they should have, but you know, some arts organizations and museums, you know, have realized that they had fallen way behind, and hopefully this year has given them time to recalibrate and, you know, make the art world a better place. Because, you know, it's the big organizations that you know, are so powerful, and if they can, you know, do an internal audit and even, you know, catch up 20%, 10%, you know, that's a huge impact. So I would say I'm really happy that other organizations and publications and larger publications have shifted their focus to be more, or at least to appear more, community oriented. So even if it's just an appearance, it's still good. Even if it's just a posture, even if they don't actually do any good, you know, even the posture in general, I think is helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think it's certainly, you know, if we're trying to push the dial on what is normative and what is, and maybe even just abolish the idea of normativity altogether, I think, you know, I hope it goes deeper than just optics, but there is something to be said about visibility being a good positive step either way.
Yeah. You know, I think it's better than nothing. It's, you know, especially in the US, you know, like it's really, it can be a very dark place because we don't have, you know, the kind of arts funding that they have in Europe, right?
Sure.
And so I think it's that it's 80%. I think the statistic might be like 80% of all sales happen in the secondary market. If you look at the scope of net sales, and you know, it's kind of this strange, it's a strange place. It's a strange place for sure. So I hope that, and obviously budgets are very complicated this year, but I hope that we can get a little bit more funding in general for grants and other small. There's just also not enough small nonprofits to keep an eye on things, and I hope that you know, it would be good to have more.
Yeah,
I don't know, that doesn't make sense, but yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I do. No, it's been great, and I think, Lyndsy, it's been wonderful to have your insight on all things Topical Cream, and certainly to get a peek into kind of your art practice as well. And it's been a pleasure to speak with you today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. And thank you so much for the interview before the Art Frankly interview. That was really great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
No, we love showcasing our amazing talent in the art world.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.